just, wanted to jump in here. It's been a while since we've talked. So I think it's important, to check in every once in a while and just talk about where we are and where we're going. Clearly Matt and I are on the same page in terms of competing to win games, and we've come short a few times. And to us, that's a little bit of, having a young team that needs to learn how to finish, in the red zone and win games and do the things, that we're coaching to do. But what I was really encouraged about was how we handled this mini bye. And I think regardless of your record, the ability to look in the mirror and see what do we do well, what do we not do well, what are we struggling with, and then attack those things. And our coaches met with the players, we met with the coordinators, and just talked about that exactly. And then what's the plan to improve and take the next step. And the work that was put in this week was incredible. Making some adjustments to get guys in positions to be successful and do better and hopefully win some games. I know Justin's been a big topic in his development, and we're encouraged with the progress that's there. I know there's it's not on the statistics and on the paper all the time, but he is getting better in a lot of different areas. I think as a whole we gotta continue to play better around him as well, to allow him to keep playing well and get his confidence going and be execute at a high level. So I'll let you guys ask some questions.
Ideally, you'll have 11 more starts, including tonight from Justin.
Mm-hmm.
What specifically will you be zeroing in on from your perch to see where his growth is coming the rest of the season?
Yeah, I think a few different things. Just how he's being used. So are we putting him in a position where he can be successful? And then the execution and the details of what he's being asked to do, and really speeding up to the game and making decisions, quicker. But again, the beautiful thing about football, it's relying on everybody else. So as a whole, we have to improve, and I think we'll see that, everyone starts to get better, and then we'll start to ascend.
You mentioned how people need to play better around him. Does that make you want to be active at the trade deadline, potentially acquiring another receiver to help that group be better around him?
I think regardless, we're always going to be active in the terms of if it's making phone calls or picking up the phone, and just seeing if that is something that can improve our team and it makes sense for us, not only for now, because I've always talked about this, it's like sustaining success for a long period of time. It's not the short fix all the time. So just blending that together is tough, because it takes a lot of discipline to do. So that's what we're balancing.
Right. When the team is not as good as you expected it to be, like you said, what are the specific causes? What are the specific factors that have not been what you thought they would be?
No, it's really the expectation was I knew we were going to be a young team, but it's really just executing at a higher level. Guys making plays, finishing, those types of things. And also, we know that it's a new scheme for a lot of different people. Like even with Justin, this is his first year with us. He doesn't have many starts as it is. So just continuing to grow and seeing guys mature within the game, that's what we need to speed up.
Right, what are some of the areas you said you've seen Justin do some things well. Can you be specific in terms of, we like the steps he's made since the start of camp in these areas?
Yeah, I think I talked about this a while ago, but with young players, you're looking for the flashes. And I think he has shown the flashes of getting the ball out on time, being accurate. Some of the deep shots, like even the one to Pettis, was incredible. So continue to do those things. That's what we're looking for.
Ryan, before week one, you addressed the criticism that you hadn't given Justin enough support to make a true evaluation of him. And I know you said, that you're building an entire roster, not just offense.
Yep.
But frankly, 7 weeks in, that criticism is still there. I'm just wondering how you see that from your vantage point.
Yeah, we're still able to evaluate everyone in our current situation. I'm convicted with the things that we did do this offseason in the draft. And we'll continue to chip away. And like I said, everything that we're doing is to sustain success over a long period of time. Within that, I think we can still evaluate our players, from the quarterback to guys on defense and all the positions.
Is it difficult for you to judge Justin, given the pass blocking that you guys have had, given the hit rate that he's taking? And what level of concern do you have, especially like the Commanders game? He's getting hit a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, do you worry about, we got to get him through the season healthy?
Yeah, I mean, as an offensive lineman, you always, worry about that. You want your guys upright all the time. I would say when you watch the tape, there's give and take on that. I think, it's a little bit of executing faster, but then there's also some protection, things that need to improve as well. So it's really a holistic deal that needs to improve for him to stay upright.
In some of the sacks that he's taken, is it safe to say some have been on Justin too, not getting rid of the ball?
Yeah, I think our coaches have talked about that. It's a little bit of both. Yep, and there's room for improvement.
Given the offensive struggles, do you second guess not investing more in the offensive line or in wide receivers this offseason?
No, to speak on that, I've been happy where Braxton is. I think he's a young player. There's going to be ups and downs for sure. And these defensive lines are like no joke. So he continues to grow. He continues to get better. There's going to be ebbs and flows with that. I think Lucas has done nice things to the culture of our O-line. I mean, you guys, I've talked very early about Justin getting hit and not seeing like him being backed. That's improved. And we're going to continue to move things around and see if we can get that front to gel and continue to improve.
Ryan, with your top 2 draft picks with Kyler and Jaquan, what's your assessment of each of those guys through the first 6 games for them?
Yeah, I think Kyler's he's getting better every single week. I thought the last game was probably his best game so far. We put a lot on his plate, playing inside and outside, and that takes a lot of mental toughness. And especially playing DB in this league, it's a grind. A lot of space to cover, so he's doing good, and we'll continue to improve. I truly believe in that. And then Brisker's been doing a good job too. I'm expecting him to make some plays on the ball, and I think that's going to come as well. But his ability to tackle and come in and fill and help our defense become physical, I think he's done a good job too.
Ryan, of everything you've seen so far, what is the best indicator long term that you're going to be able to achieve what you want to here? What have you seen?
I think for our age of our team, there's been a lot of games where we're knocking on the door to win games. The next step is learning how to finish, and I think you all know this from watching on Sundays. Like, there's teams that once they learn how to find a way to win, there's teams that know how to come back from deficits. There's characteristics of teams. Finishing is one of those things. So we really need to take that next step, but we're on the door.
What have you learned about Matt Eberflus, particularly through a losing streak?
Yeah, he's incredible. Just, again, his ability to self-assess over this past week and get the staff together and keep the team gelled together. That's what you worry about with any team, is when you lose, you don't want things to fracture. And this team is tighter than it's ever been, and believing in each other and finding ways to win games moving forward.
What specifically about the self-assessment impressed you?
Just the detail of it.
Yep.
I mean, we took a lot of time meeting. There was reports on every single player, and the coordinators did reports on their schemes and the strengths and weaknesses and trends. So the detail of it was good.
What are your thoughts on a couple of the veteran DBs you had when you got here, and Eddie and Jalen Johnson?
Yeah, I've been Eddie's played really, really well. I'm really encouraged with, I know he struggled a little bit last year, but his ability to make plays right now has been good. I like his physicality. I thought that was lacking a little bit before. He's coming in and making tackles and making plays, so that's been great. And then Jalen, I know he's been out for a little bit, but really since camp, he's impressed me just with his detail, his ability to cover, be sticky in coverage, and make plays on the ball.
Matt Eberflus said that with the running backs, they're going to use the hot hand, and it's been Khalil at times, it's been David at times. With David in a contract year, is that any of that sort of affecting how you might view him long term as part of the plans or not part of the plans of this team?
No, and I think he ran really, really well. He runs hard. One of my favorite players on the team, just on the way that he approaches the game and how he attacks it on Sundays and game days. So, and I think coaches are speaking on guys that are getting hot. Like, why not continue to get him the ball?
Ryan, you've seen this. You've seen this roster. You built this roster. You evaluated the roster and built it based on things that without having seen people play. Now that you've seen your team play for 7 games, what's your biggest need?
It's hard to put my finger on just one thing. We got to continue to improve in a lot of different areas, and we will. So it's hard to be specific with one.
But I'll take a couple.
Yeah. I'm not going to get into all that, but there's room to improve, and we will.
Do you view Justin as somewhat? Are you going to evaluate him over multiple seasons, or do you view this big picture as you need to have a clear view of who he is as a player and what he can be, and whether he's your future by the end of this season?
Really we're taking that just one game at a time and evaluating how he approaches every single game and executes it, and then we'll build long term from there.
What's
Ryan,
your evaluation?
A couple more guys, couple more around Justin was Nikhil. How did those talks come about with the Patriots back in July?
I can't recall the specific conversations. We just knew that he was a guy that had size, physicality, can win in contested situations, and we're excited to see if he can come and make plays for us, hopefully tonight.
This is Luke Getsy's first year as an NFL coordinator. What do you think of his play calling thus far? And, you know, I know that there were concerns to the public about, you know, running too much early on and then maybe not running enough later.
Yeah, like if you read that stuff, you can go one way or the other. Too much running, too much passing. I think he's done a good job blending, you know, the two, and it's different for each game. I do think it's important to establish the run, and he's done that, and I think we do it well. So you really can't be too critical of that. I'm also encouraged of his leadership and his relationship with Justin and just working through the ups and downs. And then just the ability to adapt and adjust to the strengths of the guys. He continues to do that. It's an endless process for him.
Ryan, the word finish has been brought up a lot. You brought it up tonight. Lucis brought it up. Justin's brought it up. Generally speaking, what gets a team over the hump in that regard, in terms of being able to finish?
Yeah, it's detailing their work. Just being very specific, being exactly where you're supposed to be. Your technique. I know Coach is big on technique, and that's one thing they hammered this week, and I believe in that too, just from my time playing. If you can just dial in on the technique, all the little stuff comes after that.